Alright, so this is pork belly, also known as bacon. Generally you see it, it's already cleaned up and smoked. And what we're going to do is braise this and turn it into kind of a funky little bacon. It won't be smoked, but it'll still be awesome. So it's meat side, skin side. And what you're going to want to do, you can get this at pretty much any Asian market or specialty meat store. Your butcher may be even able to get some for you. But what we're going to do is we're going to score this so that when we cook it, it renders out an awful lot of the fat. And then also we're going to season it heavily with our dry rub tonight and let it marinate overnight, and then tomorrow we'll braise it. So what you're going to want to do is get a really sharp knife and you're going to want to score it. So you're cutting through that skin layer into the fat, and turn it sideways and do it like this, so you get the diamond pattern. And then when you cook this, that fat that's underneath that cap will melt out of there. So that's how you do that. And then we're going to liberally dry rub it. And because we make this stuff, we have it in bulk. Now, the cool thing about this is that you can flavor it with any flavoring agent you want. If you wanted to roast this with Asian spices or Latin spices or whatever, you could do that too. And then I'll show you, because I'm going to end up cooking it and serving it kind of like bacon when it's all said and done after it's braised. But at home you could just cut chunks of it and serve it with a crispy top and some root vegetables, and it'd be awesome. So when we come back, I'll show you what it looks like when it's all braised. We'll talk to you guys in a minute. Okay, so we're back. Last night I scored and dry rubbed our pork belly so that all those seasonings would get deep into the meat. And what we're going to do is we're going to braise this. Now, braising is cooking at a lower temperature with liquid. So we're going to put it in this baking dish. I want to rinse off my hands. And you can use just about any liquid you want. We're going to use some beef broth because it's tasty. And you want to have your ovens preset at 325 degrees. And you just put enough liquid so it comes up about halfway up the pork belly. Now we put that fat side down so that as it cooks, that fat will render out of the pork belly. And then I take a piece of aluminum foil, a nice seal on there, and we slide it into your preheated oven. Now we're going to cook that for about an hour and a half. And then we're going to pull it off and check the tenderness of the meat. It may take anywhere from 2 to 2.5 hours to cook, depending on how big a piece of pork belly you have. So we'll check it back here in about an hour and a half, and we'll see where it's at. Okay, it's been an hour and a half. Shh. Oh man, this smells good. So what we're going to do, try desperately hard not to burn myself. Now you can see the shininess where the fat has already started to render out. So what I'm going to do is we're going to flip that over and then stick it back in there uncovered so that it renders a little bit more and gets a little bit of crustiness on the on the fat side of that pork belly. So oh, that's a good thing. So we're going to stick that back in the oven for probably another half hour, 45 minutes to an hour, I think. And then we should be ready to press it. Alright, we'll see you guys in about 45 minutes. Alright, so it's been another hour since we checked this the last time. Let's see what it looks like. Oh my, look at that. That is like candy. The sugars have caramelized on that. There's still quite a bit of fat on that. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to press it. I'm going to put it into another container and press it with another
baking dish.
Thank you. Of course, I'm not ready, so I have to get it. I know, right? This is high-class television we're doing here, folks. That's why Food Network has never called and said, "Hey, John, we'd really like to have you host a show." Alright, so what we're going to do is carefully pull this off and put it into another pan, because right now it's really super tender and it'll fall apart. If you take a fork to see how it's done, put it into a chunk of meat and just kind of twist your fork, and you can see how this is just ready to pull apart like pulled pork. So now what we're going to do, we're going to get another one of these, and I'm going to spray it down with some non-stick spray real quick. Alright. And then we're going to put weight on top of that in the form of cans. Again, I was quite ready, as you can tell. Now you're going to want to put 2 to 3 pounds on this. Just enough to start compressing it, because what will happen is as that relaxes, the meat will compress, the fat will compress, and it'll be half as big as it normally is. And then that way, when it's cooled here in 3 hours to overnight, it'll get really stiff again. And then you can either cut out squares for, like, if you're going to serve it as an entree, and then crisp it up in a hot oven to warm it up and make crackling on top. But we're going to slice it like bacon. So we'll see you in a few hours, and I'll show you what this looks like when we're ready to use it. Okay, so we've just pulled this out of the fridge. Pull our handy dandy culinary weights off of here. Thunk. So now this thing is solid, thick, and lovely. So it looks like bacon with a lot of pork fat on the bottom. So what we're going to do, grab a cutting board, and then we're going to take slices out of this puppy. See, if you look at it, it looks just like bacon, only it's cooked. So you could eat this raw right now. I don't know that you want to, but you could. And then I'm going to cut a few slices out of this, and then we're going to cook it up. Yeah, I know, my knife needs sharpened. I can already see all my cook friends mocking me for my dull knife. Alright. there's our chunks that I'm going to put onto a sheet pan, and then we're going to put it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 12 minutes or so until it gets crispy like bacon. And then we're going to eat it. And I will show you guys what it looks like when it's all done. We'll see you in a minute. Alright, so we've got it pulled out of the oven. I let my pieces cook a little bit longer than Stacy's because they were thicker and she likes hers a little thinner and crispier. And this is what they look like when they come out. That sizzling goodness. And Stacy's is already over there draining. Now, when they come off, they're real delicate because we braise them and it's like pulled pork. It just wants to fall apart. But as it cools a little bit, it's going to become more like crackling than it is bacon. So you're going to have that crispy, crunchy goodness that you're looking for in crackling. And it's really, really good. So that's what it looks like. And the cool thing is you can slice this like bacon, like we did. And that's what we're going to do on the food truck for our BLTs, is a braised pork belly like this. Or you can take it and you can cut off chunks like this for your entrees and serve it with pureed root veg or something like that. And then when you cook it, this fat is going to crystallize or caramelize and get crunchy and very crackling like. So you're going to have this beautiful chunk of pork belly with crispy skin and fall apart tender meat. So that's how we do our braised pork belly. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave comments down below, and we will link up a recipe that shows you a different version of this from Gordon Ramsay, which we'll link up below. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and we'll talk to you guys later.